All right, so welcome everyone to LexHacks, Legal Hackathon here in Chicago. My name is Dan Lina, Assistant Dean for Career Development and Professor of Law at Michigan State College of Law, and we're one of the coordinating sponsors of the LexHacks Hackathon. I'm here with folks from Open Legal, Jonathan Paskey at Open Legal. He's going to come up in a minute as our other sponsors and tell you a little bit about themselves and their challenges. And we've been had a lot of help from Andy Nin at the MSU College of Law as well, and Rick Ruber at Open Legal. And we're happy to be part of the National Civic Hacking Day today. And
that's a good bonus.
Yes, very nice bonus. And thank you, Chris Whitaker, for all you're doing organizing that. And I want to tell you just a little bit about what we're doing at MSU Law with our legal innovation and technology programs. We're very excited that we have Ken Grady joining our faculty this fall, teaching class on delivering legal services. We are teaching classes on quantitative analysis and legal analytics, looking at how lawyers can use data to improve practice of law. One of the big focuses that Ken Grady is looking at is how to use process improvement, Lean Six Sigma, to improve legal practice, project management. And then also, we're looking at legal technology, and that's what this event is really all about. How do we bring together lawyers, technologists, data analysts, other professions to improve legal practice? And we've got a lot of great challenges today that you're going to hear about, and we'll get the sponsors up here to tell you a little bit about their companies and their challenges. And John, will you take a minute, please just tell us about Open Legal?
Yeah. So it was about 3 months ago that my partner Rick and I met with Dan. We had gone to one of the Chicago Legal Hacker Group meetups, and we got to talking about what could be a really good idea to get the legal community here, the legal hacker community here in Chicago, excited. And since I run conferences and hackathons, I've done it here at co-founding Tech Week in Chicago, and then also now doing it out in San Francisco and in New York with our company that I run out there called the Network. We said, why don't we just throw a hackathon here for the legal community? And so here we are today, and this is what you see with LexHacks. So thank you all for coming. I'd like to have everybody just give everybody and yourself a round of applause. So as Dan said, my name is Jonathan Paskey with Rick Ruber. We run Open Legal. Open Legal is a service of our law firm, Paskey Ruber, and what we're doing is flat fee legal services for startups and entrepreneurs. It's nothing new that you haven't seen out there, except the little twist that we have out there with what we're doing is that we're real attorneys. We're setting up a network of attorneys, not only here in Chicago, out in San Francisco, down in Florida. We're adding states as we go, so that startups have another outlet than just a traditional law firm, or on the lower end, something like a LegalZoom or a form filling service that can help them out. We're sort of filling out that middle section where startups and then entrepreneurs can go to real attorneys and get flat fee legal services. Our focus is on corporate law, intellectual property law. I'm a patent attorney myself, data privacy, and other areas of law dealing with what you would have with a startup company. So employment law, anything having to do with the corporate setup and fundraising as well. So a little bit of M&A thrown in there too. So that's what we do, and we're happy to be here today with MSU to kick off the first of hopefully many LexHacks. So Dan, if you want to take it away and get the sponsors up there, we have some really cool prizes. Dan and Andy have put together some really cool prizes here that I think everybody's going to be really thrilled with. There's some money on the table, and that's always a good thing to get some of these challenges going. So Dan,
yeah, thank you, John. We're really excited to be working with Open Legal, and John and Rick have run some really amazing developer events around the country, and so what we really try to do is bring the hackathons that have been happening really into the legal industry this way, and came up with some other great challenges. Where you want to be looking to see the challenges is on lexhacks.challengepost.com. They're all described there. I know one of the reasons why we're broadcasting via Google Hangouts on air is because we've got folks participating around the country. We've got folks in the Bay Area and on the East Coast who are going to be helping hack. Each team has to have one participant here. We've got full rules on the LexHacks site. We hope that we've got a lot of people in the room here today. You're going to see some social media coming out from this. Follow us on hashtag LexHacks. on Twitter, and we'll get some traffic on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. But okay, so without further ado, I did want to make sure and thank, we've got our sponsors here. WeWork, a great help here hosting this event. Thank you very much. We've got Noah here helping us today, making sure everything goes very well, and we really appreciate WeWork's beautiful space here, amazing co-working space. And so the first sponsor we wanted to bring up is Amani Smathers to talk about CyberLink Consulting.
Hi, I'm Amani Smathers. I'm here representing Cyber Shaw and Cyber Consulting. Cyber Shaw is an AMLA 100 law firm. We have over 800 attorneys, and the main office is here in Chicago. I joined the firm about a year ago in the Legal Technology and Innovations Office, which was really, I think, the first of its kind. We're kind of sister offices with what was the Legal Project Management Office, which was the oldest and largest legal project management office of any law firm. And in January of this year, we split off into CyberLink Consulting, and now we're a subsidiary of the law firm, but our mission is still the same. We want to improve the practice of law, both within our current law firm and for clients of the firm and our own consulting clients. And so we're really happy to be here to support the LexHacks event, the legal hacking movement, because it's very much aligned with what we do, which is that we are doers. Sometimes we talk about what we do, but most of the time we're actually in the office with our clients, with our attorneys, making things happen, building technology solutions, working on process improvement projects. So it's really the core of what we are. So we're really here to support all of the challenges and all of the participants. And I'm also here kind of as a Michigan State College of Law alumnus, so I'm really happy to represent both. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ronnie. It takes a sidebar that when we started the Chicago Legal Innovation Group, our first meetup was at Cyclone, and we had over 100 folks there since we had events at McGurn, Emory, Chicago, Kent, Scadden a couple months ago, and most recently Chatham and Cutler. But thanks, Cyclone, for getting us off such a strong start with the Chicago Legal Innovation Group. Gary Gonzalez, I'd like to have come up here, and he's going to chat for just a minute about ZeekBeak, another one of our sponsors.
My name is Gary Gonzalez. I'm rising 12 now at Michigan State here on behalf of ZeekBeak. It's a new startup. It's an online legal marketplace for clients to meet lawyers, and the lawyers interact with other lawyers, law students, and other legal professionals. They have partnered with the State Bar of Michigan, so if you are part of the Michigan Bar, your profile's kind of already up and running. You can access it directly, edit it. Through the site, you can, of course, list your areas of practice, courts you practiced in, judges you practiced in front of. You can create private and public groups to interact with other attorneys, law students, legal professionals. But it's just kind of a great service. ZeekBeak.com, if you want to check it out, there will be a free webinar coming up here on June 10th. If you go to ZeekBeak.com/resources, you can sign up for that free webinar.
Okay, thanks, Gary, and thanks, ZeekBeak. And now I'd like to bring up Avo. Initial is here representing Avo, and I want to give a shout out to Dan Laird also. Thank you for helping Mark Avo's participation.
Hi, my name is Vishal. I'm actually product manager at Avo, and I run the search directory and attorney profile team. So Dan, I'm filling in for Dan. He's usually our industry relations guy. I'm also an MSU alum, class of 2005. I graduated in computer science. Since then, I've been doing travel. Expedia, I worked at Expedia, and now I'm in the legal business. So it's pretty exciting and something really new for me. So a little bit about Avo. We've been around for a while. We are one of the largest marketplaces for consumers to find reviews and ratings on over 200,000 attorneys in almost every practice area and geography. So if you guys haven't checked us out, do take a look. You'll be pretty happily surprised about what we have. We're also really committed to having more transparency in the legal profession and making it really easy for consumers to find really detailed reviews and information on attorneys across the board. And as a commitment to making the legal business and legal profession more accessible to people, we just started our advisor, which is sort of like our Uber-like tool, which consumers can use for $39. They can set up a 15-minute phone call with an attorney that's highly rated, and we match them with those. So this happens within 15 minutes. So a lot of people who just have a question but feel like the law is really expensive and they can't afford a lawyer, they can really go ahead and use that and get their questions answered. So I'm here to help out. If you need any help with understanding what we do or how we're trying to solve problems, I can give you some insights on those. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Avo. So we just corrected an issue that we had going on with the video. We had it mirrored when we first had the camera set up. So we solved our first problem now this morning. So hopefully we'll solve a lot bigger problems as we go on today. I don't think we have anyone from Legaler who's in the audience here. Thank you, Legaler, for supporting LexHacks. Legaler is in Australia, and met Stevie from Legaler, one of the founders of Legaler, at the Stanford Future Law Conference, and we really appreciate their support. Next, I wanted to bring up Ryan Brown from eVantage, and he's going to introduce eVantage, New Orleans law firm, and also talk about their $1,000 challenge.
Good morning, my name is Brian Brown, and you're representing eVantage. I'm actually fairly new to eVantage. But eVantage is a member of the Orleans Group, a family of legal, title, appraisal, and production management companies focused on real estate. The eVantage team specializes in applying technology and process optimization to legal practices. We offer document review, real estate intelligence, corporate governance for sophisticated companies, with quality control and peer review built into each sequence. eVantage can handle volume real estate projects expeditiously and within budget. Our challenge is detecting PII, personally liable information, at the point of distribution. Now, we realize that there are companies who have solved the problem of scanning file systems with PII data, but there are still companies who have to actually deal with and distribute PII. And so what we're looking for is the problem of being able to distribute via email, via printing, via upload, to identify that data and warn the user prior to hitting send on their email. So the solution itself should really focus on scanning the subject, the email body, text-based, the email attachments for PII data, and warn them. Design forethought should also be given to enable it to be enhanced later on, to redact, to cancel, or to go ahead and send. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, eVantage and the Orleans Law Firm. Thank you to New Orleans, and we appreciate your support. It's a great challenge. And next, we have Kingsley Martin from KM Standards. Tell you about their challenge.
Good morning, I'm Kingsley Martin. It was a pretty weak voice, I'm afraid. I just completed a pretty good fight ride from Pittsburgh to DC. So hopefully I can explain this. Our company, KM Standards, analyzes legal agreements contracts. It automatically establishes standards of those agreements and creates tools to benchmark and compare any agreement to those. That is available on our website, KM Standards. But we also have a website called Contract Standards. On our Contract Standards, we make freely available, anyone want to use it, checklists of contracts, standard forms of contracts, and clause libraries that are built upon a common framework. We're trying to do it, but the way we do it is we use sample sets of other material and establish those standards, and we editorially review them to be able to expedite the contracting process. And indeed, one of the more reasons why we focus on this is that contracts are not just simply pieces of paper that we must create in order to come to a deal. These transact trillions of dollars of goods and services. And what we see today is a system that's very defensive, very protectionist, that does not facilitate business. And I believe that there's a great deal of opportunity here. The challenge, of course, of technology law is really twofold. The first is that lawyers have two things that computers are very challenged to do it. The first is judgment. The second is language. Judgment, of course, we are largely tackling through big data, looking at past histories to predict the future. They're doing a very good job of it. In fact, when we measure things by outcome or results, it doesn't matter one iota whether we did it through intelligence, judgment, or brute force. The other piece of it, of course, is language. And English language is particularly nuanced. And lawyers are taking this language and creating their own jargon out of it, their own complex constructs. That's what we're trying to, the challenge is to focus on that, is to streamline and identify legalese. There are four pieces to the challenge. And this will be put in the public domain and will become, I'd like to build upon this. The four pieces are to build a code that first will integrate grammar checkers. And there is a great website out there called grammarly.com that you can essentially utilize to grammar check a document. The second is calculate the Flesch-Kincaid score. That is a score that looks at the overall readability of a contract or any language, and so that we can spot things. Maybe one of the things that we're working a great deal on is that if we can automatically audit a contract, then we can run it through a computer processes. If we can't, we've got to run it back into the old system. Human review. The third piece of the challenge is to then sort of calculate the long, complex sentences over a threshold. And the fourth piece is to look at legalese and jargon. We have on the contract standard website a style guide that you can use that we will give you samples of jargon and how we convert it into plain standard English, including but not limited to AKA subjects. I'll be around this morning. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. My email address is kingsley.martin at standards. Please contact me. I'm happy to hand you out my cell phone. Good luck. Thanks.
Thank you, Kingsley, and thank you, KM Standards. And next, we'll have Christian Damon, who's going to talk about Michigan State University College of Law, intellectual property and information challenge.
My name is Christian Damon. I'm standing in for Professor Adam Pandu, who's a professor in the IPIC Law program at Michigan State. The IPIC Law program is something that I was involved in when I was at Michigan State. I graduated last May, so a year ago exactly, right about now. The IPIC Law program is the intellectual property, information, and communications law program. So it's a series of classes and a legal clinic that is focused on IP courses and, like the name implies, information courses and communications law courses. So their challenge, we do our best to describe it for Professor Candu. It's a $500 challenge, and it involves looking at the patent system and trying to predict several different variables with various patent applications and different classes and subclasses. And the goal with these predictions is to be able to accurately predict the length of time or the number of rejections that an application is going to receive. So what we'd like is we'd like people to be able to use this web-based app to determine, based on the class of the patent application, how long it's likely going to take for the application to be allowed, if the application is going to be allowed, and also the number of rejections that the application may receive while it's pending for the Patent and Trademark Office. And finally, I think one of the third goals of the app is to have a list or a ranking of the examiners in various classes and subclasses, so we have an idea of how many office actions or how many rejections you may expect to receive depending on who your examiner is, the Patent and Trademark Office. So, good luck.
Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Professor Candu at Michigan State College of Law, putting up that challenge. Next, we have Mike Bomarillo from LexPredict.
Hi there. So I'm CEO of LexPredict, and I'll keep this short and sweet. Kingsley's introduction and description of language, in particular languages used by lawyers, is excellent. And I think following on the same vein of challenge, one of the things that we want to understand about these contracts is the introductory clause. Things like who are the parties involved in this contract? When does the contract start? What's the effective date? And what are the termination dates or terms? So these are really basic building blocks of contracts. And like in other unstructured data sources, like language generally or images, the open source community has built certain kinds of classifiers with tools. For example, Stanford's got a number of natural language processing tools that might help you find certain kinds of identities. There are open source libraries that might help you, for example, community and images. What we're looking at building for this challenge is a similar kind of algorithm, open source, part of the community that can help you identify the parties in the introductory clauses of agreement. So fairly simple for most agreements, but there are many variations on this. So bilateral agreements, relatively easy, multi-party credit agreements, for example. But the idea is this is something that's low-hanging fruit that we can all share across the community. That's a basic building block of understanding contracts and contract databases. Part of this, we have a contract database sample that we're releasing. So this is for use in the challenge. You can find, I think it's 20 or 30,000 contracts that are all public domain contracts that we're distributing and part of large corporations and municipalities. So it should help you build your algorithms and train tests. I'll be available today, but like Kingsley, I'll also be gone tomorrow. I'm just showing up at the end. So if you have any questions, we have a GitHub page, and my email should be available on the challenge as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, Mike, for today. We're going to try to get some of our next LP now up via Skype. Irina Nedviga is going to describe next. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, later. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. All right. Next LP here. Excellent. Great introduction there.
Yeah. So my name is Jorge Dong. I'm part of the engineering team of XLP. I'm an engineer, so I don't talk much at all, as you can see there. So we improve the process of e-discovery, fraud investigation, and compliance process through natural language processing. We take large sets of email data and through natural language processing, we will process it and give you at least a map of who talked to who talked about what, in positive connotation, in negative connotation, and we make it easier for lawyers to really know who was talking to who and really try to find the smoking gun sometimes. So we have a little bit of hanger on data. We see what Ken Lay says, and whenever he says something about accounting or anything like that, we will red flag that. So our challenge to you guys is we want to create, let's say, an emotion detector. So what we would say is that we give you guys an emails, and then we would basically say, hey, this email had an anger emotion, or the person that was sending it to whoever was very angry or very happy. You guys can set whatever classes you want. You can have class happy, sad, anger, anything like that. We also hope that you guys can also detect sarcasm as well. And I know I really would love a sarcasm detector right next to me all the time. So, for example, like I would send an email. Let's see, last fall I'd send an email to Jay and say, hey, I'm really happy that Ohio State beat Michigan State 49-37. I don't know how to say that. And so I'm obviously saying that I'm in a happy connotation. So your solution would say he's talking about something very happy. So that's our solution. So I'll be around today. I don't know how long. Of course, Irina, she's the one that's mostly the one that's going to be judging. So her email is up as well, and if you guys have any questions, you can come to me as well. Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate having you Buckeyes here to help us, and I sincerely mean that. I'm just trying to detect my emotions behind that. But I was actually there. So the first two challenges that were described are $1,000 challenges, the e-Vantage, the EM Standards challenges, and then we got the MSU Law Ticket Challenge is $500, Lex Predict Challenge is $500, the next LP challenge is $250, and now we've got two more challenges we're going to introduce. The last two are both $1,000 challenges. As Mike pointed out, if you go and look at the challenges in the discussion forums, we should have an email for every one of these challenges, so that's how you can contact the person who's going to be doing the judging, and you can ask questions. You can also post questions in the discussion forum as well, and we'll try to be monitoring that. I encourage you to use the emails. If anything seems to be missing, please ask us. Now I'll bring up for the Michigan Legal Help Program, Irene Moe, who's going to introduce their $1,000 challenge. And I also wanted to thank Angela Tripp, who can't be here today, but she's the director of the Michigan Legal Help Program, and with her help was invaluable in setting up this challenge and also helping raise the funds for the challenge.
Hi everyone. So Michigan Legal Help is a self-help website for consumers, and they have a chat where they give, basic legal advice, but then they also have self-help tools that really empower the consumer to represent themselves. Some areas that they have are family law, protection from abuse, housing, consumer expungement, public benefits, and income tax. And for the gamified legal health chart, which is the challenge that they're posting, this is meant to provide consumers a score based on the knowledge of laws impacting their everyday lives and their willing engagement in the legal system in a preventative manner. Consumers should be engaged by the game and interested in taking proactive steps to increase their legal health score. After giving the consumer a score, the game will refer them to information and tools to help them improve their score and, as a result, their legal health overall. Initially, the game will focus on housing laws, preparation for the unknown, and taxes, but it will be built to allow expansion into other areas. Some components, such as housing, should reward points based on substantive knowledge, while others, such as preparation for the unknown and tax component, should award points based on actions the consumer has already taken. This game is meant to identify what legal problems consumers may have, rather than guiding them through how to correct their legal problems. At the end of each section, the game should provide a customized list of weaknesses and potential problems with articles from the Michigan Legal Health page where consumers can get more information. And Angela and our legal technology attorney will be available at certain times. We should be posting it on the website so that you guys can contact them about your questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Angela Tripp, and I know Scott Ellis at Michigan Legal Health also put in a lot of work. Make sure you look at the challenge description. They gave a lot of great information on how to organize that. Really excited about both the $1,000 public interest challenge. They really do a great example showing how lawyers can work with developers and technologists to improve legal service delivery. And so our last $1,000 challenge, I'm going to bring up Lisa Colpoys from Illinois Legal Aid Online. And thank you very much to Lisa, who really is the one who first jumped on the idea of having public interest challenges, and then got Angela Tripp on board right after that to putting these together. And again, I think they're really great challenges. So let me turn it over to Lisa Colpoys to talk about Illinois Legal Aid Online and their challenge.
Hi, thanks, Dan. We're delighted to be here today. Illinois Legal Aid Online is a nonprofit organization. We serve the state of Illinois, and our mission really is to break down the law, make it simple enough so that people who can't afford a lawyer can effectively resolve their legal problems. And we use technology to do that. Over the last decade, we have created websites and apps to help support what are called pro se litigants. These are people who are going to court on their own without a lawyer because, well, they can't afford a lawyer. And if you know anything about the legal system, and some of you may not, if you are indigent and have a criminal matter, the Constitution guarantees you a free lawyer. However, if you're indigent and you have any other type of legal matter, which might be family law or a housing issue or immigration or anything, you're not guaranteed a free lawyer. And there is a network of legal aid organizations across the country that help people in these instances who have legal problems, which are critical to their lives. But unfortunately, that network of nonprofits only serves about 15 to 20% of the people who qualify. And then the qualification standards are so low that there is a whole swath of the population that has legal problems that they can't afford a lawyer, because really, who can afford a lawyer these days? And we're talking about personal legal problems. We're not talking about corporate legal problems. We're talking about things like child support and custody and domestic violence, eviction, foreclosure, ability to get public benefits, consumer debt, issues like that. And so our challenge is called the Pursuit Evaluator. So the system is scary and it's complicated. And people, when they go to court on their own, they typically don't do well, at least without some education and some support. There are many legal problems, though, that people can, in fact, handle on their own if they have some support and some help and assistance. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the form of full representation of a lawyer. So our challenge is to create some sort of a tool that would allow people to evaluate whether it's worth it to either pursue their case or claim or to defend their case or claim. Because in some cases, it might not be worth it. Let me give some examples. One example might be in the area of, say, debt collection, or a dispute you have with somebody over money. So say I have a dispute with my neighbor because they broke my fence and it costs $500 to fix. And they're not going to pay me. And so I decide, oh, well, I'm going to go to small claims court and sue this person for the $500. Well, it might not be worth it. Because one, it's going to cost you in Cook County over $300 to file a lawsuit probably. And then once if you're able and successful and you get a judgment against this person, what you might not know is then you have to file another lawsuit to collect the money from this person. And by the time you're done, you might have spent more than $500 to try to get this $500. That doesn't include the amount of time you get to take off from work because the system is very complicated. And so you probably had to go to 3 court appearances. You had to pay for parking. And so there's a monetary and a time component to figuring out whether you should pursue either this claim or defend a claim. And this goes across the board for different types of cases. It could be an eviction case. Your landlord is suing you for eviction. If you didn't pay the rent, you might just decide, you know, and there's no problem with your apartment, you don't have any defenses. You might decide, or you might be able to decide, you know what, it's not worth my time and effort and money to go and defend this. I'm just going to move out. Family law, the same thing. You might have a divorce case, and you're trying to decide what are the proper channels or proper claims to make. And so anyway, hopefully you get the idea. So our challenge is to create some sort of a tool that will allow people who can't afford a lawyer to determine whether or not they should pursue their case. One caveat is this is a pretty data-heavy challenge, and so we don't envision that the data will be available for you. Unfortunately, courts, the data from court systems is not very transparent or available. But there is some data that is probably available and will allow you to create this type of a tool that people can use. So I'm blathering on and on. If you have questions, I'm going to be available today. I'm not going to be here all day, but I'll be available. I also have our tech director who's available offline, and our information will be up.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Illinois Legal Aid Online. We crowdfunded with Lisa's help and Angela Tripp's help $2,000 to fund those challenges. And a lot of people contributed to those challenges, so thank you very much. I thought that was a great example. We've got several legal tech companies and others, law professors, all kinds of people from the industry on the tech side and the legal side who are here as mentors and to help folks. So if you have questions, we're going to be filtering around trying to connect people. There are other people I know remotely who are available who might want to help on this. We want to really have a big tent model and bring in a lot of people to help to build some really great things today. And I wanted to bring in John Paskey again. He's going to talk just a little bit about the rules. The rules are on the website, right? It's intended that everything will be open source and available. But so by participating, you're agreeing to be bound by the rules. And I'll let John, who's a true intellectual property lawyer, tell you more about the intellectual property issues and the rules.
Sure. Thanks, Dan. If you go to LexHacks.com, there are rules there. You can click on the link for rules, read through them. If there are any questions, come see me, Dan, or Rick, or Andy throughout the day today or tomorrow. The main idea as far as what we're doing here regarding the intellectual property is everything you guys are going to be doing here is in the public domain. If there's going to be any improvements made on that from either the sponsors or the participants later on, that you can own, but the hacks that you guys are building today will be open for the public. The idea here is to put this out in the open and to get everything going. So that's just generally on the intellectual property. As far as other rules, I just want to go through a few logistics here for today. We have the run of most of the entire space except for the offices. So there are conference rooms spread out throughout the space here. Not only this room, you can stay in this room and work. There are rooms like this room here. This is room number C. Over here is D. And then there are A through, I think, J throughout the space here as well. There are some booths as well for singles or doubles to work in. Some actual telephone booths in the space as well. You need to make a call or have a little bit of privacy to do some coding. Use the couches, feel free. We will be closing the space here at about 10 or 11 this evening, and then reopening again tomorrow at 9 a.m. 3 p.m. tomorrow is when all the challenges must be in. So sometime around 2 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to make sure everybody is getting their challenges up on challenge post. We're going to make sure that you come see either Dan, myself, Rick, or Andy, to make sure all the challenges are in. And about 4:30 tomorrow, once we get all everything together, we're going to start doing the presentations and the judging here again, right on the main stage area for all of the challenges that get done tomorrow. So if there's any questions, again, throughout the day, today or tomorrow, again, see Dan, me, Rick, or Andy, we'll be able to answer it, or if we can't, we push it to one of us that can throughout the day. So I guess with that, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think the last thing we're going to mention is that we need to have, we have people participating remotely, but each team needs to have someone here on site as part of each team. You need to be on challenge post to submit your solution, and then whoever submits the solution on behalf of the team is then the designee to receive the prize money from the challenge sponsor. So it's up to you how you distribute it amongst your team, that that person who submits a solution is the designee. And then as far as judging, it's the challenge sponsor. It's in their sole discretion that they will pick.
And we encourage you, it's a slightly different way of doing hackathons, but what we've done with these, they work very, very well. We very much encourage you to go to the challenge sponsors and talk to them as you're working out the issues of the challenge. As Dan had mentioned, there's a contact for all of the challenge sponsors here. Somebody's going to be on call for you guys at every one of these challenge sponsors to be able to talk to them, to get some feedback as we get through them. So very much encourage you to talk to the challenge sponsors on the ones that you guys are working on, to get feedback, to build a better hack. So I think that's it. Okay. Well, great, guys. We will have food here today. We will have lunch. We will also have some pizza for dinner. So we encourage you to stay here and hack. And I guess that's it. Let's break. And you guys want to find rooms throughout the space, if you can. I know we've got a couple of teams. We've got some through the email that are saying they're going to be coming here at about 10 or 11. So we've got some more teams showing up. But yeah, we're all set, guys. Thanks for coming out.
All right, thanks, everybody.